Yeah, hi guys. This is just a session to introduce us to technology today, FORTINET. FORTINET particularly is the leader today for unified threat management solutions globally. The last 5 years, we've taught the chart from partner rating and IDC rating. And today I'm here to just present to us the flagship product, which is the UTM device, and how this product, FORTIGATE in particular, can actually give the power to verify, visualize, simplify, consolidate, manage, and control, as well as protect, secure, accelerate, and enable, as well as enforce your entire IT workforce. So with this UTM device called FORTIGATE, we can achieve all of this in one single product. Now, globally, as far as IT is concerned today, it has evolved or reacted to certain changes. And as you see on my slide, we have scenarios here where we have social media acting as part of our business strategies in our entire enterprise. We have new business processes being introduced. We have employee productivity degrading as well. When we look at all of these evolving technologies coming into play or coming into effectiveness in our entire workforce. We look at compliance also driving our business processes as well. We look at mergers and acquisitions, companies being bought over by other companies, and how we can actually fuse these technologies together seamlessly. We also look at the use of mission-critical applications, as well as partnering, where we want to give data access to certain level of partners around the globe, as well as bring your own device. These are the changes that we see in our IT infrastructure. So with all these problems or reaction, how do we handle these changes? How do we effectively keep our security posture poised and completely be in the state as far as security is concerned as we hope to achieve this? Now, how do we actually do this with FORTINET, or FORTIGATE rather, is we give you the power to define why you want to control such changes, what you want to control in such changes, and how you hope to control these changes. So simplifying all of this, look at how you can improve your protection. Basically, when you have people using the social media as a form of strategy to drive their businesses, you have people having access to certain kind of applications, the Web 2.0 applications, which basically drives most of the cloud computing that we use today. How you can actually improve the use of this by driving as well your compliance, as well as improving the efficiency in the use of this technology by the people. When you look at all of this put together, we identify one: users, application, the data, and the devices they use in all of this. These are the things that we want to control. And how do we want to control them? We want to look at how they get to converge on our IT infrastructure, the point of contact. We want to look at a diverse tool set, the tools that they use to access or utilize these technologies, and as well as consolidate their functions into one single pane. With this, FORTIGATE gives you that power to control why, which basically the things that want to drive your business, what, the people, the application, the data, the devices, and how, however they want to connect or converge on your IT infrastructure. All of these, you have the power to control with FORTIGATE. Now, specifically, when we look at apps are categorized in various ways. It could be a business application, it could be a social media application, it could be whatever kind of application by way of signature. With the application control engine in a FORTIGATE device, you have that thick, rich feature to control all types of apps that exist today globally. Then we'll look at users. Users' behavior differ. We could actually look at the domain environment where they use an active form of LDAP system, or we actually can have single point of authenticating solutions, maybe by way of a radio server within our infrastructure, or we'll probably have individual static systems of authenticating these users. So however the approach is, with FORTIGATE, you can actually control these users specifically. Then we'll look at data. Data access will come from varying levels. We have data centers scattered around the world. We can have a data center in our HP today, or a data center in our disaster recovery site. But we want to control the access that these users can have on this data. So with that, we can prioritize and limit access by groups or users by time of the day or day of the week, which basically is defined as what we call scheduling. When we say we want to give the power to control basically applies to our everyday problem. For instance, Emily in the case here is a financial trader who installed Skype on her company laptop to talk with her family. But of course, she utilizes her production time to do this. How do we control that? How do we not completely infringe on privacy, but as well ensure that productivity is achieved optimally, as well as drive the business and also make us comfortable in our workplace. We enforce endpoint control. Endpoint control is a solution where we combine the FORTINET UTM as well as a FortiClient software agent that runs on the end user computer, for instance, Emily's computer. So with the endpoint control, we can actually specifically define Emily's access on Skype by way of scheduling and not completely denying her time off to reach her family when she's within the workplace. Another example is Bill, who works for a Fortune 100 company, and obviously by way of espionage, shares company details on Facebook, thinking he would not be caught. How do we control this? We define an identity-based policy that identifies Bill as an object on our network, and by way, drive the policy specifically for Bill to deny him such privileges on Facebook. Why? The Facebook traffic will originate from the network that will go through the FortiGate device. By way of the signature, we identify every of his data that he is sharing on the network. So with that, we can effectively drive the identity-based policy to prevent such a data leakage within our infrastructure. Another example is Jill. Jill is a Starbucks and she needs to communicate and be protected as if she was at or she was in HQ. That simply applies to most of our telecommuters, people who walk around, who work from remote offices. So basically, we want to give them that same level of protection as if they were in the HQ. So with that, we can actually enable two-factor authentication where we apply our hardware tokens or software tokens, as well as create secure VPN tunnels, as well as WAN optimization. If we're giving them SSL tunnel access to the HQ, to certain web applications, we need to enable WAN optimization to optimize the link through which they are going to communicate. So the same protection she gets when she's within the office is the same protection she will get when she's off the office. Our next example is Ed, who shared company details or presentations via his personal Gmail account, thinking he's not using his corporate email account and as such will not be caught, or thinking he will be smart about that. With this, we can control such occurrence by applying the gateway data leakage protection on the FortiGate device. So these are simple, familiar problems we face every day as IT administrators or IT managers that we can actually control effectively. And if you look at all of this, we're talking about different avenues. We're talking about convergence in terms of application. We're talking about Skype. We're talking about Facebook. We're talking about how social media and other cloud-based computing applications can actually be brought into one single control plane, which is the FortiGate UTM device that allows you gives the power to control and direct compliance in your IT workforce. How do we achieve this? For instance, the person who tries to breach the web access would get a simple display as this, educating such users that his daily quota as far as web page or accessing such category of web pages has been reached. So as such, he is aware of such a compliance or policy within his workforce. So with this, he would not dare to go or probably try or attempt such access any longer. So basically, like we said earlier, delivering this actually covers end-to-end. When we say end-to-end, we mean whether you are within the office or you're a user who is a telecommuter or a remote office worker, or basically you have certain level of access. So we cover the control from the perspective of the user, the data, the device, the behavior, the operating system on the computer or the device, as well as the applications used to communicate on the network. So with a broad range of solutions, we cover your endpoints to data center solutions. We could do full integrated stack security, complete consolidation functionality where we want to aggregate total security controls into one box, which is the FortiGate device, as well as give you that single pane of management. Then, of course, give you real-time threat protection for your enterprise. With this, you have increased protection. You can improve your policy compliance. Of course, you lower your total cost of ownership because you are using one solution to aggregate and consolidate all of these needs, as well as enhance productivity for both your end users as well as your business operation in the entire scope. So what benefits you get from a technology perspective? You have end-to-end security cover. You have high uptime and availability. You have easy management. Your overhead goes down completely. Then you have proactive protection. You get to this threat today from one single pane, you control it. So proactive protection is what you achieve with this. From FortiNet, we have a broad range of product portfolios, but the flagship product is the FortiGate, which is our main point of discussion today. Subsequent series will have other lineups products, as you can see the slide. You have the Forti Authenticator, the Forti AP, the Forti Manager, Forti Analyzer, Forti Mail, the Forti Web Appliance, the Forti DB, Forti Scan, the Forti Switch, and the VMware version for some of all of these solutions. But today we're talking particularly about the FortiGate device, which is the flagship product from Fortinet. All these products are built with the same hardware and operating system architecture, which is called the FortiOS and FortiA6. The hardware is hardened, built for performance and protection by Fortinet, completely proprietary to Fortinet, where the A chips are single-handedly designed and improved by Fortinet. That's why it's called the FortiA6. And the operating system built from ground up by Fortinet called the FortiOS. So with all of this combined together, it gives you that level of protection that you desire for your enterprise. And of course, we always exceed our customers' demand as we integrate these solutions in your enterprise. So when we say we want to give you that centralized management and analysis, it is just one single device, which actually is the Forti Manager. The Forti Manager is that central management appliance that gives you the flexibility to manage all of the Fortinet appliances within your architecture. Then the Forti Analyzer is that centralized reporting and log analysis tool that allows you to aggregate and correlate all the logs within your enterprise and gives you the desired output result that you want. So the Forti Manager and Forti Analyzer are both de facto appliances that fit into most mid-sized to large enterprises where they have huge Fortinet appliance deployment. So with that, you have the Forti Manager and Forti Analyzer give you that central management and reporting console that gives you the flexibility to manage and analyze your security infrastructure. Then, talking a bit about the technology from Fortinet that gives you that unmatched performance. If you go to your Google page today and Google the fastest firewall in the world, you will discover from the result that FortiGate happens to be the fastest firewall in the world. How is that achieved? Simply by combining these three dedicated hardened build processors. All ASICs, application-specific integrated circuits, built to operate effectively with the operating system and give you the desired performance and security posture as you apply this solution within your enterprise. So the content processor, as defined, looks at how it accelerates computational intensive tasks. You define security policies, you define IPS sensors to look at each packet and traffic that comes through the FortiGate device. It is a content processor that is dedicated for that task only. While the network processor is that low-latency hardware accelerated firewall that is built to the ports of the FortiGate device and looks at how it can actually optimize performance as packets are traversing through that port. So the performance you get when you add the FortiGate is primarily administered by the network processor as traffic are traversed through the FortiGate device. The security processor is a multi-core processor. It combines both the Intel-based RISC-based processor as well as the FortiGate processor, specifically handling your routing and security policies that authenticate each packet as it applies to security policy you define on the box. So with these, combined with the content processor as well, you achieve two things: authenticating packet based on security policy and analyzing the content of the packet to achieve the security or achieve that clean packet that you expect to go through your network. So with all of these combined together, it gives you that automatic performance that allows you to see the result on Google search engine as the fastest firewall in the world today. Now, more about the OS. Like we said, it's a disruptive technology platform because it's custom built, proprietary to Fortinet, so there's no third-party involvement. So in terms of R&D, in terms of update, in terms of improvement, it is always ensured that Fortinet gives you that security delivery, that security posture that you desire. So with the full engineering team, over 200 staff globally who work around the clock to ensure that every threat globally are analyzed and built into the operating system to actually mitigate such threat as they are noticed. So the architecture for the security and your network demands are met with that single appliance. Why? You have a security appliance that have the ability to do your same layer 2 and layer 3 networking capabilities. So with that single pin or that single appliance, you achieve both security as well as networking demands. Then most importantly, we're looking at the hardware platform. We have one box having so much performance or so much features and tasks in the same box. So most importantly, like I mentioned in my previous slide, the custom hardware allows you or delivers this expectation as well as far as performance is concerned. So the OS actually has evolved beyond the 4.0. Today, we have the 5.0 operating system that has more rich features. But most of the box that comes from the factory comes to the 4.0 today. But of course, once we deploy, we upgrade to the latest operating system and configure to suit your security demand or networking demand, as the case may be. FortiGuard has a global research team called the FortiGuard Distribution Network, where we have teams poised in position to analyze threats from all landscape and feed these threats, the defined signatures or mitigating signatures, into the FortiGuard Distribution Network, which are servers globally positioned to feed updates to all FortiGuard appliances globally. So with this up-to-date team, we get global intelligence, we get robust and real-time threat implication signatures pushed over FORTINET deployment globally. So, and basically for our antivirus signatures, we have 4 times minimum a day. For our IPS, we have 2 times minimum per day, as well as the anti-spam or web content filtration that pushes or that's sent to the box globally. So these signatures are created every day and to ensure that all our customers that use FortiGate or FortiNet appliances globally are secured as expected. Now, this is a simple scenario of a guy who uses his mobile device to come into the workforce, join the Wi-Fi, and of course, try to access the internet from his device. So simply, he comes to this device, goes to the Facebook page, probably clicks on an innocent link, thinking it's a valid link. The FortiGate device here acts also as an access point. In this case, we call this device a Forti Wi-Fi because it has an inbuilt relay that gives the users wallet access. So he tries to access the internet through the Wi-Fi, and with the UTM features on the FortiGate device, including the firewall, web filtering, application control, and IPS, it is able to decipher or rather decrypt that packet, even if it's a secure kernel from Facebook, and ensure that that link that the user has clicked, which of course contains some malicious code, is prevented by protecting the user as well as preventing the network from being breached. So with the integrated web filtering features, it blocks access to that website which contains the malicious link. Then with that user is educated on such a breach, and if of course it contains some viruses or malware, it is detected in the event of downloading it and prevented by the antivirus features on the box. So with this, we also want to have the ability to identify our users that come on the network, either by way of device or by way of mobile devices. So basically, FortiGate allows you enable the two-factor authentication, where by way of the token, that user authenticates to increase or boost its authentication features. So as such, we can identify specifically whether or not it's coming from a mobile device or a PC. We know who is driving that traffic, and of course allow us control specifically when applying a security feature. So with this, that installation is actually blocked. The error message is sent to the user to indicate that user that this traffic has been prevented, and as such, okay, on this slide we just see a little demo of FortiNet in action, where of course, based on today's landscape, bring your device is the word of the day. So in this case, a user comes in with his iPad, iPod, or Android device to the network, and because we are poised to enable bring your own device policies, we enable or allow users to come in with their devices, but with a control limit or with a control applied. In this case, every user has a token, either hardware token or software token. In this case, the user has a hardware token to authenticate himself on the network, to identify who he is and control his network access. So when he authenticates himself with a FortiGate device, where in this case here we are using a Forti Wi-Fi, which is a FortiGate device that has all the UTM features and the wireless radio on it, so acting as an access point as well as a full UTM device. So it has all the full UTM features: antivirus, web filtering, anti-spam, IPS, vulnerability management, as the case may be for all of FortiGate appliances. So he joins the network, authenticates himself, then tries to access an innocent video link on Facebook. He gets a post from his friend list saying click this link, and he clicks that video link innocently, which redirects it to a malicious website. With the intelligent web filtering engine built on the FortiGate device, it identifies that traffic and blocks that traffic. Then maybe, as an attempt to continue using the network, he tries to watch a video on YouTube or some other video channel. But of course, most video channels would expect you to download a plugin, which of course might be some form of flash player or whatever. So if that link that you try to download contains some malicious code, it will be prevented by the malware or antivirus engine on the FortiGate device. It goes further to try and access some other link. Maybe he tries to really install a flash player, and the flash player is not clean or in line with the signature base from Adobe, which is built into this box FortiGate device. It identifies that pattern and signature and matches it with Adobe Flash pattern and signature on the box. And if it doesn't match, it is dropped at once. That is where the intrusion prevention signature comes in to handle such attempts, which of course is logged and reported to the network admin, as well as educate the user of such malicious attempts. So with this, the spread of worms or malware within your enterprise is prevented by just allowing the guy who comes in with his device to have access to your network. So this is FORTINET in action, and with this, I believe all of your security needs will be taken care of. If you have any questions, please shoot a mail to me, leonard.originator@redingtongov.com. We're glad to attend all your FORTINET needs as they arise. Thank you.